Right now, I think most business owners think, oh, the more content I create, the more I'm going to attract clients. But the truth is that you don't need more content, you need more demand. And so many people haven't built their demand engine. If you're a creative, a coach, a consultant, you want leads coming into you. You don't want to be chasing all the time. And if you've been in business for years, you've got the experience, you've got the results, and you're still hustling for every client, then this video is for you. Because the issue isn't you, which I'm sure you're really happy to know. It's the model that you're running. So I'm Sis Chadwick. I am a personal brand and business coach, and I work with experienced business owners to help you build a personal brand and a demand engine that means that you've got clients coming to you in a predictable way. And if you don't have a demand engine, then I can pretty much guarantee that you're running on outbound energy, which basically means that you're pitching, you're chasing, you're networking, you're DMing. And it's not to say that those things are bad. You don't want it to be your primary way of getting clients and leads. You want to build something that means that people are coming to you to find out how they can work with you. Because outbound is what you do when you don't have the demand engine that we're talking about today. So we're going to go through the 3 pillars that I talk about in the demand phase. Now, I work with my clients in the Amplify Accelerator. There are 4 stages to the scalable impact method, which is brand, build, demand, deliver. And so we're going to talk about demand today. The first thing is really nailing your brand assets. And I think that this is something that a lot of people don't spend enough time on. Like if you are wanting to attract the right people in, these are things that you have to continue to keep sharp and make sure that they're actually landing and working for you the way that you want them to. And so the first one is going to be your positioning statement. So what you do, who you're for, what the outcome is. And I think that this is something that we hear a lot about, but people don't actually spend the time to craft it. And one of the things I say about who you are and what you do is that it's not your title, it's what you're here to do. So I work with women to help them become bold and powerful voices in the world so that they can show up confidently and attract the clients that they want with a brand that they love and that sells for them. Because one of the biggest things I see is that there are a lot of women that get in their own way. They're really smart, they're great at what they do, but then they struggle to show up and bring their true selves to their business and their brand. And so think about what are you here to do? And when you say it, do you feel connected to it? One of the things I've been talking about a lot recently is the fact that your energy is such a huge part of the way that you sell. Because if I don't feel like you've got conviction around what it is that you do or why you do it, then it's probably not going to land if I'm the person that you're really wanting to connect with. And so really thinking about not only what you do and that conviction, the connection, the energy, but also who you're for. So who exactly do you want to work with? And one of the things that I find really helpful is actually picturing a particular client. So for example, I'm looking for a client who is amazing at what she does. Maybe she's built a really successful business offline. And when I say offline, she doesn't have an online personal brand, but now she's wanting to build out her coaching program. She's wanting to create digital products. She's wanting to become more visible. Maybe she's wanting to build a podcast, get on YouTube, etc. Like she's ready to step into her visibility era. And the outcome that she wants is that she wants to start building the demand engine to attract the clients that she's wanting to attract. And so she knows that she needs to be visible. This is not something I need to sell to her. This is not something that I need to convince her of. And so really thinking about what your positioning statement is, what it is that you do, conviction, energy, who you're for specifically, like really think about that one person. And if I could have 100 of them, this is who I would work with. And then what is the outcome that she's wanting that you help to provide? And get super clear on that. Like if somebody was to ask you, you can nail that in a sentence. And you feel like, yep, it's not something that AI wrote. It's not something that's generic, but it's something that I feel really connected to. The second part of the brand assets is your signature method. And so I ran a workshop a while ago called Map Your Method. I will drop the link below if you want to grab that. But knowing what your method is means that you can articulate exactly what somebody's going to do with you when they work with you, the stages and the steps you're going to go through, and explaining why each of those elements is so important important. So literally, I just said to you before, in the Amplify Accelerator, we work through the scalable impact method, and the 4 key stages of that is brand, build, demand, deliver. And obviously there's a lot more within those stages, but it just helps you to be articulate. It helps you to be clear. It helps the person who's listening to you be like, oh, okay, there's a system here. Like, I'm not just going to come in and it's going to be random. I'm not going to know what to do. And so having that signature method really solves a problem when it comes to naming your structure, building a brand around your method as well, so that you become known for it. I think is such a huge benefit, and it is absolutely a brand asset. And I think that when people hear that you've got a method, they hear you've got the steps, they can see the results that you've gotten clients, it just reinforces the fact that yes, you are somebody that they might want to work with. And so now they're coming to you because we're talking about building that demand. And so the next step when you've got your phase 1 brand assets is the results. So case studies, testimonials, things that your clients have said, things that they've been able to do. And these can be tangible and intangible. And what I mean by that is, yes, if you are in the coaching space, it could be money, but it could be confidence, it could be health, it could be parenting results, like whatever it is that you help your client do, those are the kinds of case studies and testimonials and results that you want to be sharing. Now, one of the things that I say to my Amplify clients is I want you to really get good at the drive-by result. And what I mean by that is you might be sharing content on a particular topic and you're just going to throw in a line there. You know, when one of my clients, Sam, did this, she was actually able to get her baby to sleep through the night within a few weeks of working together, which is the one thing she really wanted to nail. And then you go on and you continue teaching or sharing. You want to be dropping in the types of results that your clients get and the things that they've been able to do, so that you're reinforcing that yes, your method works. Yes, the things that you help your clients do really does get them the results. So for me, I've had so many clients who have come in and they've built their digital programs, they've launched it, they've got clients in, they've built their podcast, they've started being visible online, and now they've got those inbound leads coming. And whether it's a 50K launch or for them, they're just like, oh my gosh, like I finally am online, I'm confident, I'm making it happen. All of those things matter because the person that I'm speaking to, that's what they want. And so think about how you can do the drive-by proof, the drive-by testimonial or case study, and weave it into your content and make it part of the stories and the things that you share. And then your brand assets obviously also need you to have really great brand assets, which are website, socials, lead magnet, email list. Like, how is that all working together? Because one of the key elements of building demand is actually having sequences and funnels that work for you. So even recently, I use Heartbeat, which is an online platform where my one-on-one clients, my group coaching, my free community, it's all in there. And it's looking at how are we building email sequences that are enticing people to grab my low ticket products or providing free trials for certain memberships so people can get a taste of what it's like and then they can decide to join. Like, how are you building the ecosystem that involves things like lead magnets, great website experience, great email list experience, and upsells, downsells, and sequences that nurture? It does not have to be complicated, but it is something that you want to look at, because the more that you can do that, the more you're going to have people that are like, yes, I know that I'm in. Like, everything I do with you, I love. The emails you send are of value. I know what I want to do with you next. Because the truth is, for this phase 1, which is your brand assets, there's a lot of business owners that are posting content into a vacuum because they don't have the assets that convert and actually build the trust. The second phase is your authority content engine. This is something that I teach and work with my clients in Amplify on all the time. And this is really, what is the repeatable content system that compounds around your visibility and your positioning so that you become the obvious choice for the clients that you're wanting to attract. Now, I have had my podcast for 10 years. I am showing my age, but we've got over 440 episodes on there. And until this year, I pretty much posted every single single week for the last 10 years because I decided that was going to be my one main brand asset. And I ended up getting 30% of my clients through the podcast because people would binge me. And that is one of the key things that you've really got to understand is that bingers are buyers, people who binge your content. And I have known this for a long time because I used to get people years ago who would send me messages and say, I'm on a long car trip. I've just binged you for like 3 hours. How can I work with you? And so whether it's video, whether it's socials, whether it's podcasts, it doesn't matter. Even if you love writing, like Substack is killing it right now, just deciding where do I want to have my authority content engine. And the reason that we're calling it an engine is because it's always working for you. So even when you're sleeping, even when you're on holidays, you've got these assets that are available, that are searchable, that people can access and they can find out more about what you believe, your energy, how you talk about things, how they can work with you, all the rest of it. And so really think about what that looks like. And the way that it becomes an engine as well is that you want it to be smart. So we do masterpiece of content and then everything else comes from that. So the blog, the podcast, social clips, captions, etc. It just ends up going into a bank that we keep getting content from. And so it means that even if I decided to not record for the next few months, we could still go back to that content engine and keep using the content that's there. And you want to build up a library like that. Like that is going to be such an incredible asset for you and your business. Your authority content engine is also the place where you're able to share your beliefs, your point of view, so that can differentiate you in a really strong way. Because at the moment, I don't know about you, but everybody just feels very same. And so if you've got a place where you can share your stories, you can share your opinions, you can share what you're doing, that's going to help you stand out as well. And when people consume your long form, I think that it builds a lot of connection, relatability, and the desire to work with you as well. And you really want something that you can create consistency over volume. So it's not about more. It's about how do I create a consistent rhythm that works for me, that works for the business, that continues to connect with my audience. And like I said, I've done my podcast for 10 years. That is a consistent rhythm that I've absolutely committed to. And so think about, are you just creating and putting stuff out there? Or do you have a consistent rhythm that feels peaceful, that doesn't feel like you're hustling constantly and having to get the stuff out there all the time? Because at the end of the day, you want content that does the job that you want it to do, which is to build your authority, build trust, build the demand. So you've just got to think about how you're doing that. And that's one of the things that we walk through with our clients in Amplify as well, is how you're doing that. How are you building the authority? How are you building the engine? How are you building trust within what you're creating? And then how are you building the demand? Like, what is the call to action? Where are you sending people? How are you giving them a taster for what it's like to work with you? Because random posting is not a content engine. A content engine has a structure, it has a rhythm, and it has a specific job that you can hopefully measure. And the third pillar when we're looking at the demand system is the repeatable sales system as well. It's a clear path from interested to client. And it's something that you can run again and again without reinventing the wheel every time or having to launch every time as well. And so how can you do that? Number one, you have to have a really clear offer suite. And it's totally up to you how you do that. I always say to clients, ideally you want to have one signature program that you're focusing all your efforts on. You might have something that's more low ticket that brings people in, nurtures them, gives them an opportunity to work with you. But think about whether you feel really connected to your offer suite as well. You need a way to capture leads. So that can be lead magnet, wait list, free resources. Low ticket is great as well. Depending on who your audience are, I think you've got to think about what really works for them and think about what is the easiest way for you to be able to connect with them, bring them into your world, and make sure that whatever content you're creating, you're always leading to those free elements so that you're collecting emails and building your list on a regular basis, because that has not changed in 10 years. In fact, I think it's even more important now than it it was before, with reach being so low on socials. And the other thing to think about is whether you're going to go down the paid or the organic path when it comes to your lead generation. I think that nowadays having some paid element is worthwhile, especially if you're not somebody who loves creating a lot of content. People who do really well organically, I think that they're doing a lot of content. They're always on. And I think one of the benefits of having ads running for you, obviously you do need to nail it. And this is something I've been up and down on in the past, where sometimes ads have worked really well and other times they haven't. So one of my goals this year is to really nail my ad strategy so that I've got that consistent low ticket revenue and lead generation coming in, so that even when I'm off on holidays, that is happening for me and I've got my organic working for me too. But really thinking about what that lead generation and that regular sales strategy is going to be for you is so important, because at the end of the day, businesses live or die by their leads. And if you don't have a solid lead strategy, that can be a really hard place to be, because then you feel like you're hustling all the time. Because at the end of the day, leads will die if there's no system in place. And a really good demand engine means that you've got a conversion mechanism, not just a visibility piece. And so one of the other things that we work with our clients on is their conversion events. Like, what are the things that you love to do? What are the things that bring in the right clients? What are the things that help you to convert when people come to you on a regular basis? And so that is part of the demand phase of the scalable impact method. And it sits in between building your brand, building your products and services, and delivering exceptional results to your clients. And so many business owners miss this because they build their brand and then they're focused on great delivery, which is fantastic. But the engine in the middle that turns attention into clients, that can sometimes be missing. And then that's why you end up chasing and hustling, which is what we don't want to do. So I hope that that was helpful for you. And so if you're wanting to build your personal brand, your coaching, consulting, or creative business, with assets that work for you and the confidence to show up and be an authority in your space, then make sure you check out Amplify. The link will be below. And if you've got any questions, let me know. But I hope that this has been really helpful for you and that you can see where the opportunities are in your business right now to build more of the demand that you want and get those leads and those dream clients coming to you. And if you want to learn more about the scalable impact method and building your personal brand, then watch this video next.